Welcome to Connect to Success with me, Ashley Owens, 12:30, 1 o'clock on Thursdays during your lunch break, where we interview power networkers in the greater Philadelphia and South Jersey area. This is a very special show because I am with my very good friend, Alex Kaplan, who runs a nonprofit called Of Substance. Hi, buddy.
Hi. Hey, Ashley, I'm on your show.
I know.
This is cool.
I'm really happy for you to be here, honey. You're just one of my favorite people in the world. So I want everybody to fall in love with you as much as I friendship love you. And if you can do me a favor, if you can tell people who you are, what you do, and what makes your organization awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
So my name's Alex Kaplan,
Nice to meet
and
you,
I
Alex.
am the co-founding CEO of Substance. We make movies. We make high-quality romantic comedies to thrillers and everything in between. They just happen to be about addiction.
So the addiction piece to it came from a project that you have been working on for a while. So tell me how you decided to come to that theme for the videos.
Oh, okay. So what happened was my co-founder and I, we started making one film, and it was just for fun as we were learning. And it was on set of making that film that we found out that we're both addicts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we started to talk about like what it means to be an addict and what it's like. And we started we started finding funny situations. And we were just like, oh, that'd be a great short film. Oh, that'd be a great short film. But the problem is that short films don't really have a market. And there's no ROI on short films.
Right.
So it's just like, it takes a lot of work. It takes work and it takes money and it takes resources. But what's the point of making so many?
Right.
And so we started to realize that there might be an opportunity here if we start making high quality films that are short, that people really like and engage with, that are just a little bit more purposeful, that have a stance or that engage people emotionally on a challenging topic that might open up their perspective on something.
So, hey, Marlon, can you throw some of those pictures up from the behind the scenes? We'd love to see those of some of the film sets. Yeah. So take us through this image right here.
Yeah, so this is actually our first day on set. We shot our first two films in the same day. This is our first shoot, Shoe, and later that day we shot First Date. This is in my apartment. That's my wife in the background. And
Beautiful Katie.
we're shooting this piece about this is a real story from my life about what it was like when I was in the throes of addiction and I couldn't stop doing drugs. And it was just like the African-American guy sitting there is playing my dealer, and he's over just like, Alex, you called me 23 times, you're gonna take this stuff. And I'm just like, I really don't want to. I know this is a mistake. And he's just like, you gotta pay me.
Yeah.
It's a really challenging topic, and it's a really challenging situation that people go through. And we shot it in this very cinematic way that like opens up your mind to the truth behind closed doors.
So what is the mission of Substance?
Sure. So we don't really have an agenda. We don't tell you this is how you should get sober, or this is how you should talk to people about being sober. We just believe in the power of connection to bring people out of the isolation that addiction creates. And so like that's the thing about it all is you struggle with something. I struggle with something. People are homosexual, bipolar, suicidal. They're going through divorce or whatever it may be. Being black in America is a challenging struggle that is isolating and makes us feel lonely. And yet the thing about it is isolation and struggle is universal.
Right.
So our films allow us to recognize that we're actually not so different from one another, and we can start to see that maybe I do understand that person who I think I'm completely different from. And so our mission is to combat isolation and create community by connecting people through the power of story.
And how are you telling that story now? How are you showcasing the videos? How are you showcasing the films?
Thank you.
You know, the kind of people that you're talking to, how are you getting it out there?
Yeah, so we have a website. Anybody can go to ofsubstance.org anytime, ofsubstance.org, and all of our films, we made 9 films in 9 months as a proof of concept, and people just started liking them, so we realized, let's just get them out there. You can go to the website anytime and watch our films for free. They're 4 to 13 minutes, they're short, they're bite-sized, they're easy. They're also on YouTube, they're just out there, but you can follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, Of Substance, to become part of our community, because that's really what we're trying to do, is we're just trying to connect people.
You had mentioned that, one of the things that you really wanted the videos to kind of help with is someone is going through an addiction, if someone's going through some, challenges, that they could watch that video if they can't make it to a meeting.
Yeah.
So tell more about that story. I love that story.
Oh, thanks, Ashley. I really appreciate it. So that's the big idea, right? This is the big vision of what this could be, is just like, there's too many barriers to entry for the best treatment, we believe, and so we just want to give everybody the opportunity that they need to get what they need in any given moment. So let's say I'm an addict, I am an addict, so I'm an addict, and I'm at work, and I am having some cravings, and I want to sneak out to a bar, and I can't make it to a meeting, and I need something fast. So I can just go to ofsubstance.org, watch this 4-minute comedy that hopefully one day will be with Jason Bateman, and be like, oh my God, that was really good. Oh, that's why I do it. Oh, I'm okay. And go back to work. Go back to the barbecue I'm at. Wherever I am, this is something at our fingertips that we can use for support in the moment. But then before I go back, I can share it with my mom. Be like, hey mom, watch this comedy. And she can be like, oh my God, that was awesome. That was great. Is that really what it's like for you? And you're like, yeah. And she says, because we tell stories from the addict's perspective and the loved one's perspective, she says, now watch this thriller about what it's like for me every time you fall off the wagon. And I get to watch it and I say, oh my God, I never realized how I was burning down your world. These are tools for understanding. These are tools to bridge the gaps of disconnection and miscommunication in ways that we already engage in. Things that we already like. We're already watching movies and TV shows day in and day out every day, but what if they just had a little bit more purpose? Right. So what we're doing is we are creating a tool for the future. We are creating the new tool of support, where we're meeting support for anybody that needs it with entertainment.
And so you're trying to replace DARE.
We don't want to replace anything.
Right.
We're here to support the programs that are already there with a great new tool. But then we also imagine that there will be programs that come out of this. And that's the thing about like the expansive opportunity of this super easy tool, is this can go into education. This can go into training. But like training in rehabs for therapists, as well as utilitarianly in the therapy itself with patients and their families. Right. Education, schools, hospitals, therapy, and then eventually into corporate America. Like this will go into trainings, but for sensitivity training, but also for education. We're not reinventing the wheel so much, right? Like people have been using film for learning and training for a very long time. However, we feel as though people are less open to the things that we're presenting when they're being talked at. So we don't tell you what to think or how to think or what to feel and how to feel. We just invite you to feel it with our characters. And we just invite you to come along for a ride. And I think that there's a lot of power in that, when you empower your audience to make their own decisions. But we're not holding any punches. We're not pulling any punches. We make really serious, tough pieces. Some romantic comedies, but some just like challenging, like real life stories.
Right.
And we just invite you in. We just invite you to be part of this story and this world of somebody you think you are completely different from.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So I would love to see another image from behind the scenes. I want to hear more about these stories that you're portraying. So I saw this. I've seen all of your films, and I can't say enough amazing things. I walked into a screening not knowing the quality of work that you've done. We've been friends for so long, and I walked out of there going, "Holy crap! How is this not bigger than it is. And I love these stories. This one, oh my God, this one was so, what's the name of the film?
I'm not going to cry.
I know,
This is called
so
Partners. This is actually, this is my wife's story.
I can't, now that isn't that
I'm
nuts?
gonna ruin this for everybody
Okay.
because it's just very important. This is from my wife's perspective, and the whole piece is following this woman who you think is an addict the whole time, but at the very end we flip the script and we show that she's actually just home going through whatever because she's stressed out about her husband who is out there doing God knows what.
Right.
And we just flip the script on the addict where the addict is watching this just like, oh, I know, yeah, that's me, that's me, that's me. And then at the end we find out that that's not you, that's your wife, that's your mom, that's your girlfriend, that's your roommate who's worried about you, and this is what you're doing to them.
Right.
It's hard.
It's funny. Oh
This
my
is
God.
Hold Up.
This is so good.
Actually, we have the trailer for Hold Up.
Oh, great.
That we
we'll
really
show.
want to show.
Yeah, we'll show in a minute.
But this is where we met. This is that's Brian all the way to the side. Brian and I are both actors and filmmakers. Brian actually has his MSW. He was a former social worker and counselor who specializes in childhood trauma. But there he is with a gun as an actor in a comedy.
So good.
Yeah, this piece is about people connecting in the most unlikely situation. And that's fun. It's silly and stupid and ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then at the end, it's just about possibility.
Right.
We never know.
So what is your ask?
What's my ask?
What's your ask? Yeah.
We're in an interesting situation where we have an outrageously, we have a product, we have a tool that could make a big difference. But it is innovative and avant-garde and a risk. And it has no proven impact yet. And so that's why
I think I got proven impact how?
I
Like
mean,
what metrics are you trying to gather?
we're not evidence-based,
Got it,
right? And
got it.
something like that takes a while. And to collect enough data, we have already collected a lot of data in screenings for inpatient communities at recovery centers, as well as general population. And we're starting to calculate all of that, and we're going to start to discuss our data, which is great, but it's still a risk. And so we're looking for big thinkers who are in situations that can actually really lend us a hand. We're looking for venture capitalist kind of people. We're looking for, not just for money, even though we definitely need big money to get this going, we're also looking for partners who are strategic thinkers, who have built businesses, who see a great opportunity in the next evolution of entertainment. That's where we're going with this. And that's a big thing we're looking for. But we're also looking for strategic partners such as people at hospitals, people in education, people in community services. Everybody's a friend. We're looking for friends in government. We're looking for friends in film.
Yeah.
If you know anybody who would be interested in what we're doing, who is in addiction, in public health, works at a university, has been impacted by addiction, then we want to talk to them.
Yeah. So when we return, we're going to talk to Alex more about how he's using his films to generate a deeper connection and how that translates into the kinds of people he's meeting and the kinds of strategic partnerships that he's building. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Shelter dogs aren't broken. They've simply experienced more life. If they were human, we would call them wise. They would be the ones with tales to tell and stories to write. The ones dealt a bad hand who responded with courage. Do not pity a shelter dog. Adopt one.
Say we've got grit, and we'll take it as a compliment. Because it's our uncommon drive, our spark within, that brings us together and sets us apart. We are temple made. And when others take shortcuts, when others take breaks, when others take the easy way, we take charge.
Add us on social media to watch bloopers, behind the scenes footage, previews, and more.
Hey, can I bum one of those?
Horse in the silence, is she in the dim?
Give me the bag.
I'm broke. I just got dumped and I have my period. No.
Lady, I have a gun.
So lucid. You cannot have my lip balm because I need my lip balm.
Jesus.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. We were
It's
just
so great.
watching-
Isn't that so cool?
I've seen the whole thing, and it's just one of my favorites. That and I think First Date.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. So your ask, and so everybody, welcome back. I'm just hanging out with my friend Alex Kaplan here, and he is the co-founder and founder. I'm just going to say you're just the man behind everything of Substance. And before we left, this is a networking show, and I kind of want to go a little bit deeper than just the typical networking tactical tips and practical takeaways. When you're talking about a deeper connection with somebody, when you are hitting on something that is so core to their personality and a serious challenge, an epidemic that's going on, how are you, because you used to run a production company as well, so you have the business aspect to it, you understand the process, but to your core, you're a very creative person. So when you come across and you talk to somebody in a business aspect or the typical networking event, you already show the passion and the creativity and the excitement about what you do. Do you ever get, and this is more of just my own curiosity, do you ever get somebody who's like, I'm confused, meaning because you are so different than the stereotypical, Joe, Dick, or Harry that's at an event? Like, do you ever get that kind of reaction from somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, of course. This is a very challenging idea to convey to people. Right? Like, I mean, this is just like, it's actually not so much anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm getting better at it, but like it took a lot of time to hone this and really figure out how to talk about it.
Right.
Like, very simply, Of Substance is addressing challenging topics and serious issues through quality short films. Mm-hmm. That's what we do. Right? And then we get into why and what and how we're starting with addiction and how that works. Easier now. Mm-hmm. It was challenging before. But the thing about it is Ashley has actually taught me a lot about networking. I'm really lucky to be her friend. And the thing that I do now when I go networking is I do everything I can to not talk about what I do for as long as possible. I really do. I'm going to give you my secret that I've figured out. This is mine. I'm going to give it to you guys. It's, if I meet you and I do this to you, just mention it. I go into conversations, whether people are alone or if people are in a group, and I go over and I just say, hey, if you guys were at home right now instead of here, what would you be watching? Because like the thing that I've learned is is that not the best thing?
So good because you can get so much from just one little question: what they like, what they don't like, what series they're talking about, your background in film. You can figure out what kind of person they are, about what they watch, and.
But yeah, no, I don't even try to like talk about what I do. I just like, that's so easy because then it goes, it's the perfect conversation starter to like who you are and what you're into right now. And then it's like, what do your kids watch? Or like, do you have kids? Oh, how old are they? And then like, so what I've learned from Ashley is people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And when you go to a networking event, you're not going to a networking event to sell anything. You're not even trying to sell yourself. You're just going to a networking event to make friends. And that's it. So like, just go and make some friends. Yeah. And so it's about having like one or two go-tos for starting conversations that lead to like, do I like this person? Do we make a connection? Right? That's what I do.
And speaking of making a connection, we have another short film, I think it's a minute long, about. So before we roll into it, Love, why don't you tell us more about what we're about to watch?
Yeah, so like what we do is our films are about making connection, right? Our films are simply about the power of isolation to make us feel lonely and hopeless, and then the counterbalancing power of connection to bring us out of that. And so that's what all of our films explore. This one, Band-Aids, is a monologue. It's a very simple single shot piece where it starts on a guy who's talking in a AA group, and then the camera just spins and shows how diverse all of these people are in this group, and lands back on him as he finishes his monologue.
Great.
But his monologue is about his daughters and what it took for him to get sober,
Great.
connecting with his family.
Let's watch.
There is no life after addiction. You guys know, it's always there with you. It never goes away. And the way I describe it to my kids, I say it's kind of like Peter Pan's shadow. It's always trying to trick you, to get you to do things that you shouldn't. I mean, sometimes I still to this day, I have to stop whatever it is I'm doing and just... And that's okay. It's okay to be an addict. I know I'm stronger for it. Forces you to be smarter, to be vigilant, persistent, present. And it's something we'll all have to manage every single day for the rest of our lives. And we can. There is no life.
What do you need? Put it out there. Be more direct. Hi, we're back. Oh goodness, I was just telling him how much I love his face. Okay, so I want to learn more about, so people can get involved by donating, people can get involved by coming to the screenings that you guys have, the awareness and building up engagement around the films and the messaging behind it, and just working with strategic partners to get infiltrated into those trainings and other areas where people can see the films and be affected by it, right? So what's the big picture? I know you talked about Jason Bateman. What about him?
Right. So
Yeah.
honestly, if we imagine that like this is the future of entertainment, like more purposeful utilitarian film, then I imagine a future where, you know, we have a short series that like each episode is 5 minutes, and Jason Bateman is playing that character that we all love him for as a one-on-one addiction therapist. And each episode there's a very different person on his couch, as we realize that like no matter how different we are, we all kind of have the same problems. But it's still very funny. It's Bateman, right? Like super fun. And that's just the beginning, right? But this will take a fair amount to get to.
Yeah.
And so what we need right now, our big ask is big people who are big thinkers, who are big movers, big shakers, and big money.
You got it.
Yeah.
Got it. And that money is going towards what?
The money is going towards, we would like to make 5 to 6 new films this year, right? As well as screenings, as we host our own screenings on the East Coast and West Coast, and program development, right? Like we're going to start with donations and grants to really get us going, to get us that big runway. But then once that's going, and once we have enough support financially to keep that machine going, then that allows us time to make more partnerships, to find more opportunities for more programs, to learn things that we never thought. Like that's what's so exciting about this, is just like we're trying to build this as organically as possible, because we just we haven't even like touched the tip of the iceberg with how well this could go and how this could build and what this could really look like. So we're looking for creative people who are innovative and strategic and big thinkers, who are just ready to just be part of something galactic.
And in your time that you have, because you're on the East Coast for only a certain amount of time, right? And you head over to the West Coast because you got big things going on in LA. So you're out there pitching everything. You're going out there meeting with the right people. Tell me some of the people that you've met that have been super influential for you.
Oh, wow. I wasn't ready for that one.
Sorry.
You know, it's so funny because the people who are the most influential are so often not the big people that you think are the big people. my wife is,
You got this.
wow, is probably the most influential in my life, because she is a steadfast, impressive rock of a person. I learned so much from her, you know. I don't know. Like, I'm sorry, I was really not ready for that
That's okay.
question.
No, I think with the kind of connections that you've built with people, they're very, very powerful. And so as you're making connections and building up your network and the growth of Substance and the intention that you have behind the messaging, I think that people will see that so quickly without you needing to push, without you needing to defend, because it's such an epidemic. It's such a topic that everybody knows somebody with addiction. Everybody does. And there hasn't been an outlet for them or for people that have been affected by those people. I've never met any other or I've never seen any other outlet that is so easily attainable, and it's not hard to find. It's there, it's available. So in your experience when you are working as a nonprofit, and because you've done this for the past couple months, you've learned about different networking tactics and tips and things like that. So what advice would you give somebody what advice would you give yourself 6 months ago in building up your network, if you could?
Chill out, bro. Just like, honestly, what I talked about earlier is just like, number one, people do business with people they know, like, and trust, AKA friends. You're just going out there and you're making friends. Just meet people. I don't care what business you're in or industry you're in, it doesn't matter. It's just like, life is about connections, and connections as in relationship connections, like real connections to other people. And the big thing about it, the thing that I'm holding on to most right now, is everybody's just winging it. We're all just people, and nobody actually has a clue what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so when you feel like that, just remember that everybody is doing that, and everybody's just trying their best. So all you can really do is just go out there and try.
And on that note, do me a favor, look in that camera one more time and tell people how they can find you and Of Substance.
Hey, I'm Alex. If you go to ofsubstance.org, you can see a donate button. You can get links to our Facebook, our Instagram, our LinkedIn. Please follow us. You can subscribe. Subscribing alone is huge. We just like, the more we can get people to follow us and be part of our community, the better. On our website, you can watch all of our trailers, but you can watch all of the full films. You can learn about our company. There's an intro video that's 3 minutes that encapsulates everything really, really easily and cleanly and directly. You can reach me directly at alex@ofsubstance.org, and I would love to hear from anybody. I'm just always looking to make friends and meet people, but most of all, just see if I can help you. Like, we're all in it together, and we're all just trying to help each other out. And if there's anything I can ever do to help anybody, I'm here.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next week on Connected Success on RVN TV. Thank you so much, honey, for being here.
Thanks, Ashley.
See everybody next week.